I want to first tell you how I started off watching True Blood. I had just graduated from high school in 2010s when I first started watching. And my cousin, he watched all the shows I got hooked on, and he would watch True Blood, and I kind of was like, well, is it like a Twilight thing? Because I wasn't really a Twilight fan, but he said it was like better than Twilight, and I started watching in season 3, episode 1, Bad Blood, and from then on, I have just been hooked on True Blood. Um, from then on, season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I just love the show. I went back and watched season 1 and 2, and I just loved the show, and I thought it was just obviously I enjoyed it. So I just want to say that this episode was sad, but it was a pretty good send off. There's some things I disagree with. There's also some things that I agree with. The ending was very good. I like the table and how everybody that was in Bangtong just kind of stayed close and celebrated Thanksgiving together. So that was nice. So let's get into it. Where it began. I'm not quite sure, but Sookie has to stake Bill, I guess, or before that even happens, Hoyt and Jessica show up at Bill's, and basically, he kind of asks Hoyt, "Are you ever gonna marry Jessica?" And that came out, and I was just like, "Marry her? What? They just got back together." But we see they do end up getting married, and that he just kind of took Jessica to the side and was just like, I'm a dying man. One of the things that I hated is that when my human daughter got married, I never got a chance to give her away, and I want to give you away, So they all gather together and get the stuff together for Hoyt and Jessica to get married. Jason is the best man, and I was just like, okay, seems kind of sudden, but they wanted to get married, and I guess all the Hoyt and Jessica fans are like on cloud nine, just happy to see them back together. I'm kind of just tolerating it because I kind of didn't think that they would get back together, but they are, so I'm happy for them. And basically, while they're getting married and everything, Jessica just crying and everything, and um, Sookie's sitting right next to him, and she starts hearing his thoughts, and he's just telling her how he loves her and how he really can bear leaving her, and how he just loves her more than anything. That was so touching to me. I was just like, Bill and Sookie, please end up together somehow. I really don't want him to die, but I kind of knew it was going to happen anyway. Sookie is having a moment where she has this flashback of her and Tara, and it was just so sad. Like the first time I saw it, I was just kind of like, oh, okay. But after the second time seeing it, it was just really sad how, Tara died, and how she's just remembering how when they were little girls and they would run in the rain, and how her grandmother always told her not to let her ability or her whoever she was tell her that she couldn't have a regular life, have a family. And she basically ends up just thinking about how she wants a regular life, how she wants kids and a husband and all that. And she ends up having to stake Bill. This moment was really kind of, it was sad, it was dragging on a little bit. But she ends up staking him. She holds up her light powers and basically doesn't want to, kill him, with her light, but ends up just staking him with, some wood. And I thought that was, I couldn't believe Bill. I just had to tweet rest in peace, Bill, because he was really one of my favorite characters right off the bat, especially when I found out about his backstory, how he got turned against his will and could never go back to his family. I think more than anything, it was just made me, relate to him, having to deal with, tragedy and stuff like that. That was really touching, and yeah, it was really sad how he died, and basically, yeah, next I want to talk about Eric and Pam. They were really the only real highlight to this series finale for me. Basically, they killed the Akuta or whatever they are, the Asian people who, they have a deal with to, start the New Blood. They kill them, and basically Sarah Newland escapes, and her and her and Pam have this moment, and she mentions Tara and how she wants to be turned like her, and Pam just grabs her and just like, don't talk to me about Tara, don't you ever talk to me. You can kind of see that it really bothers her that Tara is dead, and that how she really met the true death, and how she really did care about Tara, which we already knew, but it was nice to find it out that way. She says how she wants to be her sex slave, and how she's just like, you couldn't pay me $1 billion to make you my sex slave. You want to be a lesbian now? She was just like, what are you doing here at this, merry-go-round? She was like, this is where Willow was turned, and she tries to get her to turn her, but she's like, no, I'm not turning you. You're gonna meet the true death. We're gonna use you, and that is what it is. I think that was it as far as what happened then. Next thing is, I think, a few months or a year later, and it's Thanksgiving, and you seeing the turkeys being fried, and everybody's just preparing for Thanksgiving, and we see Sarah Newland in the dungeon, and she's having hallucinations about uh what's his name, Newland, Steve Newland. He's hunting her. She's just in hell, and Pam has this man feeding on her for an hour for 100 grand. She basically tells him to get the hell out, and she was just like, you're here, this is hell. And I guess this is hell for Sarah Newland. And I'm just like, why didn't they just kill her already? But I guess they're using her to make more money, which, sounds a little bit more smarter than me. Um, Another thing was we see Bridget and Jason together, and we see that they are married and they have kids. And I was just like, wow, I kind of knew they would end up together, but they have kids. They have, I think, 2 girls, 1 boy, and it was very nice to see that. Jason's like a kid himself. He's playing with the kids, back in his house, and it was just nice to see that. Then you see Suki, and you see that she's pregnant. And I'm like, who is she pregnant by? Who is it? We see that she has a regular husband, and he's not a vampire or anything, because she's pregnant. And that was nice to see. I was kind of like, okay, some random guy she's in love with. And that, but around at the dinner table or the Thanksgiving table, we get to see that everybody's there. You got Lala and his man. You got everybody. You got Sam and Sam and Nicole, and they have 2 kids, and it was just a great send off to see everybody at the table. Got one for the kid. You got Arlene and her vampire boo. You got Andy and Holly and their kids, and you got Hattie, Lady May, and who was the Reverend. It was just nice to see everybody staying close. It was so sad the end. I like how they called it thank you. There were a couple of things like I understand that Brian Buckner wanted to take this show from the chaotic storylines to the basic storylines, but I think he took it too basic, especially with this season and last season, because it was quite boring, to be honest with you. The series finale just had me kind of bored and confused, especially with the Hoyt and Jessica wedding. I thought that dragged on a little bit too much, but it ended. Sad to see it go. The end of it was nice. I do think it was dragging in the beginning, and to see Bill die, it was just so sad. But then again, I guess it wouldn't be really True Blood if, or really wouldn't be anything epic if a main character didn't die. So I guess that's why they killed off Bill Compton. It was sad. But anyway, I want to thank all my viewers, Mike B, House at Atomus. I want to thank Brandley Lovely TV, all the people who have watched my reviews. I want to thank them. True Blood has been a great show to watch, and hope you continue to watch my other shows. I will be reviewing Boardwalk Empire. The final season starts September 7th. Can't wait for that. Hope you watch it. Hope you like this video. Share it on Facebook, Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at O's Midnight Love, and that's OS_midnight_LUV. Follow me on Instagram at DrinkMeUp21, and the links for these will be in the more info box. True Blood, true to the very end. I hope you liked it. If you didn't, tell me, let me know what you thought. And I'll see you in my next video.